You are making more money than you ever have. Your salary is up. Maybe you even smashed that six-figure milestone you have been chasing. But then you look at your bank account at the end of the month and you just have to ask, where did it all go? You are not getting any richer. In fact, you might even feel more broke and more stressed than when you were earning less. And let's be clear from the beginning. This isn't just a spending problem. It's a psychological trap. And we are going to break down exactly why this happens using some powerful lessons from Morgan Housel's masterpiece, The Psychology of Money. You will see why getting wealthy has way less to do with your income than you think, and how you can finally break the cycle and start building real lasting wealth. Let's get right to the heart of it. The problem is a sneaky little thing called lifestyle inflation, and it is the actual reason you can double your income but still feel like you are not getting any richer. Think about it. You get that 15% rise and your brain immediately starts spending it. That apartment in a slightly better neighborhood, the car that is just a couple of years newer, dinners out that go from a weekly treat to a daily habit. None of these choices feels reckless. They feel earned. You worked hard for that rise, so you deserve a nicer life. The problem is your desires have a habit of rising right alongside your income, and sometimes they rise even faster. And before you knew it, your new higher salary is completely swallowed by a new higher cost of living. And this is the first trap. The goal posts keep moving. Morgan Housel actually says the hardest financial skill is getting the goal posts to stop moving. Basically, one step forward in income pushes your definition of happiness 2 steps ahead. You feel like you are falling behind, even when you are technically getting ahead. And this brings us to the first reason you are not actually getting richer. Simply, you are playing the wrong game. You are focused on getting rich, but you haven't realized that staying wealthy is a completely different scale. Let me tell you the story of a stock trader named Jess Livermore. Back in October 1929, the stock market crashed, kicking off the Great Depression. While the rest of the financial world was getting wiped out, Livermore, through a mix of genius and guts, had shortened the market. And if you don't know what that means, very quickly and simply, it means you bet that the stock prices would go down by borrowing shares, and you sell them immediately, then hoping to buy them back later at a lower price to return to the lender and keep the profit. So on one of the worst days in stock market history, he came home to his family and announced that they were so rich. In a single day, he had made the modern equivalent of $3 billion. Yes, $3 billion. That's a lot of money. You can spend 100K daily for 82 years without the need to work for 1 minute. But fast forward just 4 years, Livermore kept making bigger and bigger bets. He eventually lost everything and took his own life. So getting money requires taking risks and being optimistic. But keeping money requires the opposite. It requires humility, and it requires knowing that what you have made can be taken away just as quickly. It actually requires a healthy dose of paranoia. Getting rich is offense, but staying wealthy is defense. And you can't win a championship on offense alone. A higher income can make you feel indestructible, like Jess Livermore in 1929. It makes you feel like you can't lose. But wealth isn't about one big score. It's about surviving long enough for your assets to compound and do the heavy lifting for you. The second reason your wealth isn't growing is that you are spending money to send a message to other people, but they are not even listening. Morgan Housel calls this the man in the car paradox. So it works like this. When you see someone driving a Ferrari or any fancy car, you rarely think, wow, that person driving is so cool. Instead, your brain immediately goes, wow, if I had that car, people would think I am cool. We use other people's stuff as a benchmark for what we want. The paradox is that we buy expensive things hoping to get respect from other people. But those people are too busy imagining themselves in our place to actually give us that respect. So the ceiling for social comparison is so high that basically no one ever hits it. And because of social media, this is amplified by 1,000. We are comparing our real lives to someone else's fake life. Here is the truth. People don't really want the fancy car or the big house. They want respect and admiration. We just think that stuff is a shortcut to getting it. But as Morgan Housel points out, humility, kindness, and empathy will bring you a lot more respect than a Ferrari ever will. The trick isn't to stop wanting respect. It is to stop thinking a new car is the way to get it. The final and most dangerous reason you are not getting richer is the disease of never enough. There is a story in the book about a man named Rajat Gupta. This man was born into poverty and he clawed his way up to become the CEO of McKinsey, one of the world's most elite consulting firms. He was on the board of 5 public companies and was a partner with Bill Gates. By 2008, his net worth was over 100 million. A simple 5% return on that money would have earned him over $500 an hour around the clock without him lifting a finger. He basically had everything, but it wasn't enough for him. He was desperate to be a billionaire. So when he got an illegal insider tip that could make him a quick profit, he took it. He basically risked everything he had and needed for something he didn't have and didn't need. And he lost it all. He ended up in jail and his reputation completely destroyed. So, how do we actually escape this trap? And by the way, this isn't about living a life of misery. It's just about shifting your entire mindset from income to wealth. So first, you have to define what enough means for you. And I don't mean a vague feeling. I mean a number, a specific number, a hard number. How much do you need in investments to live the life you want off the returns? What is the price tag of your financial freedom? And once you have a real target, the temptation to keep moving the goalposts starts to fade. You finally know what you are aiming for. Second, you need to flip the formula. So most people live by this formula. Income minus expenses equal savings. So they earn, they spend, and they hope to save whatever is left. However, the wealthy people do the exact opposite. Income minus savings equal expenses. And by wealthy, I mean very rich people. People like Warren Buffett, who actually said, do not save what is left after spending. Instead, spend what is left after saving. So they make their savings and investments the priority. This is paying yourself first. Every single book talks about this. It is the ultimate, essential, important, fundamental rule. If there is only one rule in financial world, it will be this one. We talked about it in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and also in The Richest Man in Babylon. So the second you get paid, a set amount should be automatically wired to your investment accounts. This makes building wealth your default setting. You just learn to live on what's left. So stop waiting for luck or the big win that never come. The third step is actually you need to focus on the gap. Real wealth isn't built by how much you earn. It is built by the size of the gap between your income and your ego or your spending. Your goal is to make that gap wider over time. So the next time you get a rise, the question shouldn't be what new things can I buy? It should be how much of this can I use to widen my freedom gap? And the final step is to practice financial humility. Remember that wealth can disappear no matter how smart you are. So try to manage your money in a way that lets you sleep at night. Don't take just Livermore-sized risks that could wipe you out. The whole point of wealth isn't to buy more stuff, but it is to buy control over your time. And this is the greatest dividend money will ever pay. So let's summarize everything together. If you feel like you are earning more but not getting richer, it's not some personal failure. You are actually fighting a battle against human psychology. It is the lifestyle inflation, the illusion of the man in the car paradox, and not knowing what is your definition of enough. But you can absolutely win this fight, and you start winning when you realize that being rich or having a big income and being wealthy are two different things. Wealth isn't about what you spend, it's about what you keep. It's about owning assets that work for you, not being owned by liabilities that you work for. And by defining your enough, paying yourself first, and focusing on the gap between what you earn and what you spend, you can get off that hamster wheel for good and build a life of real, lasting financial freedom. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Cheers!